that naturally come up in my face-to-face classes. One is files and backups. One is digital note-taking. Another is task management. And I'm just going to set a timer here. You need a task management system. Our learning management system that we're using at the moment has a facility to put things on people's to-do lists, but not a whole number of staff necessarily know about that. So you need some kind of tool that will allow you to create to-do lists, and it might just be good old-fashioned pen and paper. It might be a bullet journal. There's a number of tools that you can use. It's important that the tools that you can use for creating to-do lists work across many platforms. So I have mine on my phone. I have it on my iPad. I've picked one. The one that I use also runs on Android, so it's cross-platform. Wherever I am, I can add something to the list. I can check the list. I do most of the checking on this because it's handy when you're sitting down having a cup of tea. There's a number of very common ones. Because in the university the student email runs on a Google platform, you have access to some tools to help you manage your time. One obviously is Google Calendar. I don't have a lot of things in there, although on a face-to-face normal semester I would have recurrent appointments for the physical classes. Google has a task app called Google Tasks, which, as you can see, I don't use very much. It allows you to add a task. It allows you to edit that task. So you can edit the details. You can decide which. You can have multiple task lists. Theoretically, you can add a date and time. And if you do, then it will appear on the calendar at whatever time this is. It's actually 11:30, but that's fine. You can make it repeat. Hit the repeat. Why can't I make it repeat? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, but that will, there, it appears there. And in fact, and you can give it subtasks, right? Subtasks is a level of planning that is useful and important. If I close that down, I didn't save it properly, so it's not going to appear, but there it is. Oh, sorry, I did. It's synchronized. It shows up. It actually matches my UCC calendar task list, so I can have different ones and I can visualize it immediately. So that's kind of useful. It's a really great tool for deciding what you're going to do today, how many things you can do. There's no point putting more things on today's list than you will get done. There are any number of applications out there that will do this. There's also hundreds of pages telling you what the top 10 to-do list managers are. Many of them are written by companies that manufacture these products and apps, and therefore they have a vested interest in selling stuff to you. This is not a bad list that I found on Zapier, of all places. Zapier do integration products, so they don't necessarily make a to-do list app, but they do have listed some of the ones. Todoist, again, if you have bought into the Microsoft infrastructure, and I think you may or may not have access to Microsoft To Do through Teams. OmniFocus and things are a bit of overkill. Habitica is fun because you get points and you can work in teams for tasks. Google Tasks, I've shown you. There's a number of other older ones there. I used to use these. I don't anymore. I have sold my soul to Todoist, which does things which most good task apps, Microsoft To Do, Google Tasks, if you explore it, will allow you to do certain things. For example, on almost any of the platforms where I have it, it synchronizes across platforms, obviously. It allows me to take any bunch of tasks and rearrange them by clicking and dragging, which is nice. I'm not actually going to do that today. It allows one to, this is the files and backups video, which I've already made, but I have not compressed it and uploaded it, so it might be that that should be 3 separate tasks: record, compress, and upload. So I can't mark that as done yet. It allows you to assign, well, let's have a look at this one. It allows you to set a date, which is today. It tells me how many tasks I have due today, 44. I won't get all of those done today. I can set a priority for the task, and the number one priority tasks bubble to the top of the list. I can add comments. I can create subtasks, compressed file. Repeat. Okay. And I can schedule that. Again, I can give that a specific, we'll just give it today, but I can give it a specific time and I can get a reminder. Okay, these are the sort of things you want to look for in to-do list apps, which are not the same as task management or project management, which is a whole higher level of organization. So I can do all of these things, right? And then when it's done, I can click the button and it disappears. And that's very handy. Also, if I look at work, this is a new thing. I can pick all my teaching is a project, and work is a project area, and teaching has sub projects, research and teaching. And I can actually, and here you see some of the low priority tasks have bubbled to the top of the list, but I can actually view this as a board, which means that I can have things which are unsorted. I can have things which are in progress. I can add done, right? So you can have a couple of columns and you can visualize a particular project and see the subparts of the project and the sequence and how you're doing it. This is Kanban, which is a great technique, comes from Japanese management, worth a look, right? Once you get beyond this in terms of organization, you really are getting into serious project management tools, which is probably more than you need or more than you're going to use on a day-to-day basis. But that's a piece of task management software. It has all the various things that I look for in an application and the basic tools, tasks, Microsoft To Do, Todoist, Wunderlist is gone, Remember the Milk, Nozbe, any of these applications must work on across your platforms and must synchronize for you. So whatever you're sitting in front of, whether it's sitting in front of your machine at home or sitting on the bus looking at your mobile phone, you must be able to see your task list on it, right? That's essential. You should be able to back it up and export it. It should be able to schedule tasks. So these are the things, the basic things that you want. The problem is, of course, that first of all, these require a certain amount of discipline. You must decide what you're going to do and put it in the task list. The other thing you need to do is you need to break down the tasks into manageable chunks, which I'm not necessarily the best person at, as I've just demonstrated. Things that you can get done in reasonable slices of work. And this is where the human element comes in. If you're not naturally a task managing person, if you just have a mess, then no digital tool will fix your mess unless you actually get your head in it and sit down and focus. So whatever tool you use, whether it's digital or paper, the weakest link is the human. And you need to focus on that, right? But certainly it is even more important now that you devote some time every day to making your to-do list, updating it, keeping on top of organizing your work. It requires time. It will not happen by magic. You have to put the effort in. The time you invest in it and the time you invest in picking a digital tool, if you want to do that, and learning how to use it, which should be fairly simple, will repay you a great deal when it comes to the end of the semester, when you can look at all the things on the list that are crossed off and done because you've prioritized them and organized them. Okay?